August sure is the month for some good comedy. The long-awaited Blacks Only is back. Tonight, Blacks Only joke appropriation without compensation will take place at the Ticket Pro Dome. It moves to the ICC Auditorium in Cape Town on the 14th. Blacks Only, the brainchild of comedian David Gau, is now in its 15th year. This year will include a number of international acts such as Malawian-British comedian Daliso Chaponda, and he's in studio with us this morning to talk about this. A very happy morning to you.
Good morning to you.
In its 15th year, this is such a great feat for Blacks Only. It's almost as if it was just yesterday when it came about. Tell us about your involvement in this. This is your first time performing your comedy
time doing
at Blacks Only.
And it's the biggest one. It's like in the Ticket Pro Dome, 13,000 people. It's going to be crazy. I got on their radar because I did Britain's Got Talent last year and came third. But I'd sort of run into David Gau before, and he'd always wanted me to come. But this was the moment when I was like, well, now this is the year.
Right.
Come on down. And I was like, definitely.
Right. Let's go back to you personally. Rewind. When did you know you were a funny man? Do you ever know that you're funny?
I was always funny. So I was a funny kid.
Okay.
But I didn't know there was a job in this.
Right.
I just thought this is how I impress my friends.
Right.
And it was only when I was at university I discovered that this was something which people got paid for.
Right. And what kind of comedy do you do? Are there like categories in comedy? Is there anything that is you don't do this or you do this?
No, I think I'm sort of mixture of politics, observation, and storytelling. Yes.
What do you comment on politically?
I comment on, idiots in power like Donald Trump. He's been very good for comedy, if not for the world. I comment on, the Zimbabwean elections, whatever's going on in the papers, I write about it.
At that time.
Yes. And then also what's going on in my life. So
right.
Heartbreak, anger, everything comes up.
So no holy cows, in this business of comedy, everything you tackle.
Everything.
Right. Tell us about why Blacks Only sort of resonated with you. You're saying David had chased you for a while, or you'd always known each other but not really had done something before.
Yes, so I'd never actually, I didn't know a lot about the show, but I knew a lot of the acts. So when he told me that Riyadh was going to be on, Tumi Morocco was going to be on, I was like, I have to be on that lineup because these are like lots of heavy hitters, and you raise your game when you're performing with really funny people. When you're performing with people who aren't that good, you can sort of coast. But tonight I have to bring the best version of me.
So you've done Britain's Got Talent.
Yes.
You're in South Africa for Blacks Only. Are we going to see more of you
you'll see more of
the
me.
continent,
You'll see more
especially?
of me because I'm doing a Europe tour right now, and then I'm going to start doing African tours. So things like this are all part of my strategy.
And what to expect, especially with the African tour? There's certain places where you can go and you can speak about certain things, but other things you can't really speak about.
You can.
Some freedoms are limited.
You can. Look, I have frequently got in trouble. In Malawi, I got in trouble for the Censorship board because I did some jokes about the government. In Zimbabwe, I got in trouble with one of their local prophets because I did some jokes
about him. What did you say about the
I
local
did jokes
prophet?
about, what's his name? Anyway, I did a joke about his followers, but still his followers got very, very, very angry. Bev Angel and Hubert Angel, and I made fun of them because prophets are absurd. They believe they can see the future. But at the same time, as much as I get in trouble, I will not talk about things which are funny.
What are some of the things that are really important to you that you're going to ventilate in Blacks Only?
I think I'm going to talk a lot about we're in a moment of change right now. I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but the world seems very different because we've got social media, we've got all this kind of chaos, which so much is possible, positive and negative. So I do a lot of comedy now, which is about, everything from the fact we have assistants on our phones to children who now are babysitted by television.
Right.
And I make it funny.
Right. Let's be the judge of how funny you are. I believe we have a clip.
You have a clip?
In action.
It better be funny.
Here's the big tail.
Let's do it.
Let's hit it.
I am from Africa. I moved here 10 years ago. And immediately I moved here, I heard a lot of British people talking about the financial crisis, the recession. I'm from Africa. What are you maniacs talking about? You call that a crisis? If that's a crisis, where is UNICEF? Where is Bono? I have not seen anyone save the UK concert? You can tell me it's a financial crisis when there are planes flying over Birmingham tossing fish and chips out the window. It will be a financial crisis when there are ads on television saying this chav has to walk 5 miles a day to get a bottle of WKD Blue.
You know how to work a crowd.
That's the
for
moment
sure.
that made me famous. That's good. This is a good moment. It's a very good
There were
moment.
moments there where people were just like, oh my gosh, did he just say
But
that?
I always think that's the thing, is you play with the line of what's acceptable to say, and then you take it back. And then you play with, you always make them think you're going to cross the line, and then you come back.
Let's talk about exactly that. You know, they say just because you can sing in the shower doesn't mean that you should audition for idols.
Yes.
So just because you make your family laugh doesn't mean that you can be a comedian.
It's very
When
different.
do you know, how do you know that this could actually work for you and you can dominate world stages?
The only way you know is you have to perform in front of crowds. So I was always performing, before anyone was paying me, I'd perform in the university bar. I'd perform wherever there was a stage in front of like 20, 30 people. And then when I was good there, I went to bigger and bigger and bigger.
What to expect from you at Blacks Only?
Well, it's a fight. I got to be the funniest comedian. I got to be the one you're talking about when you're going home. So all these funny people like Riyadh and Toomey better watch out, because I'm bringing my A game.
And what's that like? I mean, you are sharing the stage
I'm
with
kidding.
comedy
I'm kidding.
greats.
At the end of the day, we all know we're going to be funny. We have very different styles. I mean, David chose no two acts are similar, so it's going to be a lot of variety. So as much as I say, oh, we're being competitive, the truth is, I am nothing like Toomey, and I am nothing like Red, and I am nothing like David, and nothing like any of the other acts. Some of them I've never met. So the great thing is that people get all different flavors of comedy over the course of the night.
We touched on this briefly, but
Yes.
in terms of what actually influences what you talk about on stage, when you look at what is happening in the country
Yes.
with the high rates of femicide, women dying at the hands of their most intimate partners, are those some of the issues that you actually tackle, or you try to shy away from them because you're trying to keep it light?
No. I tackle them. But what you do is, so you can't make a joke about femicide. But what you can do is you can make a joke about the culture which creates that. So I do jokes, for example, about how as a man I was brought up, don't cry, hold things in, don't hug, and all these kinds of ways which men are stunted create unhealthy expressions of violence. So I will mock that part, not the result. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how you tackle difficult subjects.
So if someone is sitting at home, tickets are probably sold out, but
Yes.
like, what are they
No,
missing
there's
out? Maybe
still
you
some
can.
tickets.
Oh, there's still
There's
tickets.
some
Great.
tickets. I mean,
so there's still tickets.
13,000. I think there's around 1,000. So go fast.
Okay, awesome.
Get
If
'em.
I'm thinking, should I go get my ticket? Just
Yes.
give us a taste of what to expect.
Give us a
Ding, ding,
taste.
ding.
You want a funny joke? You
Yes,
want a
one
joke?
funny joke. And no chickens crossing the road as a thief.
A lot of my jokes are highly unacceptable. But I'll tell you a joke. I did Britain's Got Talent.
Right.
Right. A lot of people don't realize. Initially, I wanted to do Zimbabwe's Got Talent.
Oh.
Right. Until I found out no matter how many people voted, ZANU-PF always wins.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.